Alright, Crisis Core as Shadow, and we're in the buggy!
The whole city's on fire! Oh wait,
sorry, wrong
Pedro,
campaign.
Actually, Pedro, that's Crisis City, not Crisis Core.
Oh yeah, Crisis. Yeah, you're right. Crisis City.
I mean, I don't like
Pedro,
Crisis
I didn't
Core,
know you were in a Final Fantasy VII.
Hold on. I mean, I don't like Crisis Core, but I wouldn't say that.
Crisis Core was a finished product.
Wow, I love how the truck pretty much met you down there. Okay, so Shadow's first section of Crisis City is essentially Sonic's first section of Crisis City.
And it's so incredibly easy compared to Kingdom Valley.
Oh, it gets even
Nakamura,
better.
Nakamura, it's called.
We're going to have quite a bit of analyzation.
Nakamura, it's called a difficulty curve. You look into it. Look it up.
Like, okay. To be fair, there are different sections.
Pedro, I told you dozens of times. I did try to find a water learning curve. The problem is I have 5 minutes to do this level.
But guys, do you have... What are you doing?
Using zero gravity.
I was trying to grind because you can actually grind on that thing, but it's iffy. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
So, Jova, you're telling me that this game has farting boards that use air?
What are you saying, guys? Clearly the zero gravity here is one of this game's coolest features and not a bug that we could have programmed out of the way. Also, out of my way.
Yeah, again, oh the edge.
Also, I am Shadow. I can literally just slide kick through a wall like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm the coolest.
I guess.
Yeah,
also,
I love how the homing attack literally attacks towards the rail, but it didn't work because I was down. Go ahead.
Okay. Remember this stage? Okay, now at this point, when Sonic goes towards those dash panels, his level then, ends and, then he loads for the next session. So, where exactly does this lead now that we can actually do it because they were too lazy to program them out?
Load screen.
Yeah, believe it or not, that's what it would have led to, essentially.
A tunnel.
Okay.
Oh. Shiro, you know what thought came into my head for some reason? What if
And here we are.
What if there was a British soap that ended this way or something?
So essentially, guys.
Basically, Coronation Street. We're done with the whole place getting nuked, and this is what we get.
Fuck
that is beautiful.
So essentially, guys, take out the load screen, and you literally have that one loop where you go straight down and then dash off, which means that this game is so incomplete that they had to apparently take out a section of a level that's clearly in the same area and vicinity.
A 3D Sonic game where the homing attack is unreliable. That is such a fucking liability. Ugh.
But it's also a bit redundant, Paige. You just said unreliable twice in the same sentence.
Well, it's this game, Dwebs. It's turning my bread into mush.
Also, I noticed this. This happens with Sonic, but not so much with Shadow. When he hits the floor after going through one of those set pieces, he can run straight away. With Sonic, he kind of just pauses there for like a second.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I guess we can say it's because Shadow has the special anti-gravity shoes.
I think it's bad coding, but sure.
Yeah.
Don't you see, Jova? It's not glitching. It's time. What the fuckery of Quantum Break? Don't you know?
Sorry, Shadow. You're gonna have to speak up a little bit.
Jason,
sure.
Jason, I know the sound mixing isn't your fault, but maybe speak up for Sonic Team or something.
Sure. Just you wait till after this level, Shiro, and still in this part where we're gonna, like I said, in Flame Core, we're gonna get Shadow's best line.
Okay.
But we already had his best line. Let's get moving.
Nah, I still prefer the one.
Some other one.
I prefer the one from Flame Core because the one from Flame Core is so baffling.
Oh my god, I recognize those concrete balls. Those are the balls from Silver's playthrough stage. They left in assets from another player character's thing that can only be used by Silver in the stage. By the way, those rings are impossible to get unless you sequence break the game.
Yeah. So.
I know that what was released essentially was an alpha state, but seriously.
Again, this was supposedly the more stable version.
Well, that's common. I mean, obviously, when you upgrade to a more recent build, there's going to be more. There's going to be need to optimize that build after you upgrade it. So
But they didn't upgrade it. This is a downgrade.
well, it's like this, Jova. See, here's the basic gist of it. Because coding is very complex. Obviously, it's not that simple. But here's how it basically works. The builds we saw in part 0 of this playthrough. Those technically, it had a better homing attack, it had a better light dash.
More advanced builds
I know, but let me finish. Even though the mechanics themselves were more finished, the game code in general was less optimized, meaning the game, for all we know, wasn't even completable.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
so obviously, coding is very complicated. It's not as simple as this is technically more advanced, so therefore it's a better. There's a lot of complexities to. And here's another.
Oh, here we go.
Isn't this the one where you actually have to do something in order
No, not this one. I think.
Actually, Shiro, you can actually do nothing on this essentially. I mean, yeah, you'll take some damage, but you can still essentially make it through.
Okay, I do like the max speed version of Crisis Chords music.
Crisis City.
Crisis City's music,
Crisis
sorry.
City.
but why are they using this track for this part? Why not the one from when you're
Because,
actually in
like
the tornado in the Sonic's one?
Because Shadow's vehicles are the equivalent to Sonic's
Yeah.
So the glider became invisible for a few seconds there.
It's
It
because
does that when it gets hit.
yeah, what Jova said.
Also, what's that red bar under the?
It's the HP bar of the glider too. If you don't let it run out, otherwise you'll die and you'll have to start this section again.
One of the bars
okay.
they actually bothered to optimize, that's the thing. No, it was great. While we were waiting to be given actual work, we were actually trashing this and forces in work today. It was great.
Alright, Crisis City, find the Chaos Emerald, okay. Moving
Are
on.
you trusting Sonic Genesis and like too?
No, just this and forces.
Genesis was 12 years ago, Dweb, so it's a kind of updated.
Well,
at
this was
point.
12 years ago as well.
Yeah,
True.
between the two, this was the most popular thing to bash.
Anyway, but
But still,
Jova?
12 years ago.
I love how the first tornado is like, I'm gonna come and get you. This one's like, no, I'm just gonna chill here. Like,
Brilliant.
apparently tornadoes can choose whether or not to move.
Jova, you saw Twister, you should know better.
But Tio, these ones don't growl.
Are you sure?
Twister.
Growl yet.
Can we just play Twister instead?
No.
I'm not that good at contortionism, Pedro.
Oh,
good.
really?
Oh, look at that! 3 rings in a row!
Really,
It's
man?
good for-
I'm pretty good at Twister. I didn't know you felt
Good
really
for
good
you,
at contortionist.
Well, that's
I'm
the thing.
reasonably good at it.
It's good for pickup, I can tell you
I
that.
haven't played it in
Alright, more Iblis mooks. Yay!
At least we have an awesome soundtrack.
What
Yeah,
were you
we
supposed
do,
to
yeah,
with
but-
that ramp? Oh, okay, now you're doing this. Okay.
I was gonna say I don't remember Twister having a soundtrack.
Twister, the hot spot.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that commercial.
So
I'm not
what do
sure.
you-
All right,
I'm not
ladies
sure-
and gentlemen,
I'm
I'm sorry,
not sure we
Deb,
have that
hold on.
song in the UK. Evidence.
Oh,
No, actually, no.
that's tornado.
Actually, no, Shadow. You cannot get out. Ladies and gentlemen, quite possibly the most boring set piece in the entire game. I'm not doing anything. I'm just watching. By the way, this is it. Remember, you can't do anything while grinding. So you can literally put the controller for like a full minute here. I'm not even kidding. That's it. I'm not even doing anything. I'm just watching.
it's so scripted.
It's not even that pretty.
Bro,
Yeah,
is this supposed to visually impress me or something?
Well, it's a set
Like I said, the
piece, so the
graphics aren't
answer
even
to
that-
that would be yes.
You know,
Don't
if
play the
I,
Mac
you know,
Trucks.
if I just close my eyes and listen, I can pretend that this is an awesome mod that actually makes the level design cool and sound like Shadow's actually doing something important and awesome. The music's still good. And the sound effects, I
Well, there
guess,
is a
are
way,
correct.
Jova. I guess there is a way. We can do a lot of mescaline, and maybe that will work. We would die of blood toxicity 5 minutes later, but it would be a nice 5 minutes, I guess.
No. You know what? I'm just gonna stick with closing my eyes and using my imagination.
Oh god.
Imagination.
But it's both this game and Fairfin Seraph require a lot of imagination to play.
Imagination or masculine? Take your pick. I picked the non-lethal one.
Alright, so I died once, so obviously I don't get an S rank. But I almost got an A, so that's that.
There's a lot of background noise there, gee.
Well, we are in a city torn apart, so I guess that makes sense.
It's incredibly distracting.
Isn't that usually supposed to go away for the results screen, though?
Yes, probably.
Well, now it's gone away. Well, we were still in the level, technically.
Alright.
So this is where now you meet Sonic and the others.
Very good, Tail.
Yay.
Well, actually, no, I forgot. This is the scene where they find Omega in the future.
Alright, I forgot.
Basically,
We found Rouge's long lost love.
Basically, Tail, this is what became of Omega in the years during the time jump.
Also, where the fuck did she get that?
End of level reward, Shiro. We're operating on Sonic Adventure 1 logic. You get the Chaos Emeralds through levels, not through special stages.
I know, but they usually like show them, actually obtaining it. It's like, oh, they just had it.
Don't worry, Joby doesn't talk yet.
Go ahead, Jovo.
Okay. Let's just say, I'm a big fan of Omega, by the way. Thank you, Sonic Forces, for bringing him back and giving him an awesome voice, a.k.a. Edward Elric, who sadly is also the current voice of Bubsy, but hey, what you gotta do, bills to pay. Let's just say, what they do...
sorry, John, I'm gonna have to interrupt you. Rouge, who are you talking to? She doesn't
She's meant to be talking to Special Agent Watch, but it's not there.
Hey, Rouge, you know how in Sonic Adventure 2, a Dreamcast game, we could actually bother to give you an accessory that show that you're talking on a radio? Well, yeah, why can't we do that in Sonic Next Gen? Yeah, that's one of the code names this game had. Sonic
I know.
It's so whatever little immersion you could feel in these cutscenes where Rouge talks to G-Wen, they're completely destroyed because since there's no watch there, she's literally talking to her hand, and it's so stupid.
Wait, okay, I think we're about to get one of Shadows' best lines in this game.
I know, but I skipped it.
Wait,
Why
did you skip it?
We already saw this cutscene in Sonic's story. It's the exact same.
Yeah, but I still like to see that cutscene, and you better not skip the cutscene.
So you skip repetitive cutscenes that you keep in the load times.
Well,
we've explained this to you, Dwez. We can use dead spots.
Also, Pedro, you better keep in the cutscene where Shadow kicks Silver's head in both times.
Please?
Please tell me your OCD did not actually affect you there.
I don't remember if I skip it the second time. Well, the thing is, the primary reason, Joe, is for the sake of, not time, just for the sake of making these parts as short as I can.
Pedro. If we're leaving in load times, time is the least of our worries.
I guess. It's just that
don't get me wrong. I mean, come on, Pedro. I mean, again, Shadow pretty much dissing Sonic, doing what Sonic should be doing. That is, again, one of Shadow's best scenes. And you know what's the seventh?
Also, Silva needs a good kicking.
Yes. Like, seriously. But yeah, the thing with Shadow's like, again, he disses Sonic, but in a way that's still in character for him, which is why Shadow is pretty much the best character in this game.
By the way, that's a much better hit. That path that I went, that's that hidden path that I just went through with the alternate homing chain. That's one that I definitely recommend doing over the other one because running sideways in walls in this game is so unreliable. Just use that hidden homing chain to get to that much better path and easier. Did you notice that boost pad on the wall there earlier? That's where I would have to go if I didn't go for that boost chain. So yeah.
And now we're going on there.
Yep.
So since we don't have Knuckles for this stage, like Rouge is gonna take place in this section.
Yes,
Joy.
Rouge.
Well, that's unfair. There was no warning.
Yeah, that's the thing about this game. Enemies can kind of pop out without warning. And trust me, dudes, you think it's bad now? Wait till we get to End of the World.
Yeah.
I've seen End of the World.
End of the World is the pinnacle of unfair enemy placement, enemy popping, and hit detection galore.
Yeah.
It's not even the enemies, it's the time thing.
Let me put it like
Fog
this.
Silver section in Another World. I hate
Let me,
Silver.
let me put it like this, folks. This game was called Sonic Next Gen. This is a game that made people afraid of the next generation consoles. Although, to be fair, we had every good reason to be afraid of the PS3. That thing was a nightmare on release. But all the same, still,
But Jova, it was based on ancient Japanese history.
Well, and again,
Yeah,
look,
in ancient Japanese history, I was always gone in a downfall with pride.
2006 in general didn't really seem to help next gen a lot. I mean, that year alone, we had this and we had Bomberman Act Zero, which seemed to indicate to people that the only way that these kind of mascot-y characters could be done in this day and age is to dark gritify. Could you imagine if? Could you imagine if we stayed on with that approach and we got like Bomberman, death to all who oppose me?
Let
That
me
is one of the
explain.
problems with 7th Gen. Alright,
Yes,
Pedro, go on.
Let me explain. See, one of the problems with Shadow's homing attack is that, remember, the way the homing attack works is if you're if you keep the button hold for 1 second or even half of a second too long, it might trigger his combo attack thing. So sometimes, and trust me, this will also become a problem in Mephiles' boss fights. Sometimes it can be really hard to do a homing chain with Shadow because the button mashing combo might trigger with accidentally, even though I don't want it to, and ruin a homing chain. And remember, in order to beat Mephiles, it relies on homing chains, so it can be a problem.
Also, the camera just isn't agreeing with you no matter what you do to it.
No.
Yeah.
Seriously, who filled the camera fluid with vodka? That is not.
I wish I
camera.
had some vodka
The
right now.
developers, Jova, it was the developers. They needed something to keep themselves sane.
Also, there's a reason why.
I love how Shadow's just like, okay, I accidentally fell into lava. Well, I'll get back up.
Like I said, what I said before, Flame Core is my least favorite stage for a reason.
Yeah, Flame Core is just
bad.
It's bad.
I like the music, though.
boring. Well, I like the music for outside the volcano. For some reason, you see, with Sonic Adventure, when we went inside the volcano, the music got even more intense and more rock heavy. Yet inside here, it's somber and, well, a regular guitar. But don't get me wrong, it's a nice tune, but at the inside of a volcano, I mean, I guess maybe to symbolize the inside of a volcano threatening to erupt, although it's incredibly unfitting when it's Silver's final stage for a story. Don't worry, I'll go into why.
I really like fire aesthetics in video games, and the fact that this looks so terrible makes me sad.
Yeah, you know, I've noticed a trend. It's like, with a lot of games, including Mario Odyssey, I find that fire levels tend to have some of my favorite music tracks. Wonder why.
Yeah.
By the way, if I recall correctly, some of those purple crystals can hurt you. Or maybe that's just an end of the world when they hurt you.
No, I don't think they can, Jovo. I think you're mistaken.
No, for a second, I thought that ring in front of you was the goal ring.
Okay, but if I recall
I
correctly,
wish it was.
there are crystals that will one-hit kill you in end of the world version of this stage.
Yeah.
I love how like in LPs people can react to getting hit by saying "oh fuck" as if they were doing it actually live. Like a pre-recorded video.
Let's go.
And Shadow died from being.
Surprisingly, that's not my favorite line of Shadow. Again, we're gonna get
That was
inside.
a shit battle cry, Shadow.
There was no, Shiroi. Don't worry, he's saving it. Anyway, inside the volcano. I'll tip you off, Shiroi, when the line comes.
Okay. Because honestly, I only really remember
Go ahead,
Sonic.
Jova.
But, yeah.
Okay, folks, believe it or not, Rouge's version of Knuckles section is even worse.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, remember how I complained about how Rouge has only bombs? Yeah, here's the problem. Remember, you need to bounce off dark crystals. Problem is with those bombs, they scatter, and sometimes one is not strong enough for some reason. Which means if you don't land them all properly, you don't get the ball on. Even worse, apparently those crystal balls are also triggered by a strength mechanic. which means that if you get just enough bombs on it, then it won't stay on as long as, say, if you got all the bombs on it. Trust me, I've actually tried this out. Maybe it's about
hold on, Joe.
Hold on.
We're about to get Shadow's best line now.
Okay.
I'm also
Listen.
Wait for it.
The invincibility theme. I like it.
Oh, no, never mind. It's in the next falling hole section. Never mind. I keep forgetting. There's
I
two
like
sections
that
like that.
invincibility.
There's two sections like that. It's in the second one that he does it. I'm sorry. I forgot
like that.
that.
Also, Jova, please try not to connect unfinished games and the line not strong enough. You're giving me horrible Angel of Darkness flashbacks.
Yeah.
Wasn't that game's problem just that it was bad?
To quote,
It was rushed and bad.
you know what's interesting? Clement in his review also mentioned that he has a friend with limited eyesight who, of course, and apparently Clement's friend can even go out at night because of her eyesight. Shiroi, since you can relate, obviously you don't like this section as well, I'm guessing?
She had a rant on it the first time we came here.
It was awful. I have to play this part with the lights off.
Okay, Shiroi, here's what you do. Use
Sonic
your
is a
TV.
horror game.
Here's what you do, Shiroi.
This is a horror game, Tio.
You see,
I'm
Shiroi,
curious. Sorry, go ahead. Sure.
I have the perfect workaround, Shiroi. It's called the TV settings glitch.
And look at that!
Basically,
Despite
just-
that crystal thing, all I had to do was come to the switch. So what the fuck was
Yeah.
the
So
point of the
what's the point?
purple rocks then?
You mean the
to
contrast
give you
and
a
stuff, Joga?
bonus.
Because I think Clement mentioned that when he was referring to his friend as well.
Yeah, basically it's a trick I also used for Adventure 2 when it was giving me issues. You can actually set your TV settings. Like, okay, believe it or not, a lot of the plot twists in movies or video games can actually be ruined by anyone who sets their TV settings bright enough to see what's hidden in the shadows. And this game
Although
is...
usually
Oh
in
my
my
god,
case,
Pedro! Oh my god, Pedro, you totally missed an opportunity because you actually were past Rouge. You could have actually have done the bit as
I
Shadow.
tried, Jova. I tried. It's impossible. This section is clearly done with Rouge in mind. Shadow cannot do it nearly as well because you need climbing to do this. I assure you.
Also, Jova, while I do adjust the settings on the TV sometimes, I've done it for the Insane Trilogy because it's actually quite... The colors are quite warm in that game, especially in 2 and Warped. But for here, it wouldn't really work because this was so dark that changing any settings at all created too much of a glare. So I just had to turn the lights off and deal with it that way.
I'm not talking about contrast, Roy. I'm talking mainly strictly TV brightness. Also, here's another thing.
That's the
Suddenly
same
shadow.
thing. It does create a glare if you turn it up too much.
Saved you from what?
Oh, I get that, I
Exactly.
get
What
that.
did Jova? Answer me this. What did Rouge save Shadow from? Because I have no idea.
She saved him from being stuck in the most boring, padded out room of the video game.
I
Also, Pedro,
guess.
you wanted to ask, or
I'm curious if you don't mind me asking.
yeah, sure.
Can you go out at night fine, or is it like difficult?
Depending on the lighting,
Okay.
it's all.
It's now, guys. It's now, guys. Listen, I love this one. Okay. Jason, I don't know what your script said, but that was the game script said "ack," and you turned that into. Jason, your script clearly had something different because that just said "ack."
I think he's just screaming for the sake of it.
No, the game's rush development, which I guess also voice acting, drove him insane.
I am so baffled by that
Screaming
line.
into a pillow, Pedro.
Not only does Shadow have no reason to shout like that, the subtitles say "ack." Someone actually... Okay, so how does a scream sound? It sounds like "ack," right?
I found the chaos. Don't touch it.
It's... I don't... It baffles me. That line baffles me to no end.
You know,
Somebody screwed up, and I would like to know who.
Yes, Joe.
I said it before and I'll say it again. I really feel sorry for Jason Griffith when it comes to the Sonic series. I mean, don't get me wrong. Patrick Craig Smith and Julia White are my two favorite Sonics, but poor Jason Griffith. Okay, yeah, he entered in on Shadow the Hedgehog, the video game, where he actually swore as Sonic. That's infamous. I mean, don't get me wrong. Shadow the Hedgehog is nowhere really hated overall. It's just more laughed at. Then his first main outing with Sonic as the main character is this game. Don't get me wrong, he gets to be awesome as Shadow, but still, do stupid things. And okay, he gets better for each game, yet the problem is like, well, he was better in Sonic Unleashed, which sadly got mixed up because of the Werehog stuff, And then this final game with Sonic and the Black Knight, again, a good game, but one that was marred by being too short. And whereas Roger Craig Smith, the first made Sonic game he gets to be back in, boom, that's when Sonic's back with Sonic Colors. It's like, I mean, I just feel sorry for Jason Griffith. Like, he really gives 110%. It's just, he had bad luck with the direction or just whatever game he was too unlucky to get involved with. Like, and God bless that Mike Pollock got to stay, because that man is a treasure. It's just, I feel sorry for Jason Griffith regarding the Sonic series, because, you know, he was a big-time Sonic fan. And trust me, I mean, my name's Jason too. Like, heck, if the Sonic games I had to put on my resume were Sonic 06 and Sonic Unleashed and Black Knight, I mean, don't get me wrong, Black Knight and Unleashed are more alike now than they were back then, but all the same.
I was just gonna say, I can imagine the voice acting process, at least in the West, being a bit hectic for the development, considering all the cast bar Mike Pollock are based in Los Angeles. Mike Pollock still does his lines in New York, so I can imagine that being a bit of a hassle. Did the directors have like Skype calls with him?
And then there's cases like Adventure 2 where it's pretty much all but confirmed that Yuji Naka decided to be a voice director for the English class, and that's why we have a lot of them saying all that Japanese stuff like, Yo, Shorteria! I mean, except for Sayonara Shadow, which is actually a Japanese thing that we like to incorporate in our own language. Yeah, the character saying all that weird Japanese random stuff, we apparently have Yuji Naka to thank for that. Like, I get that was
Yuji
back
Naka please stick to whatever he's good at.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hopefully he will.
Specifically
What
programming.
is he good at, by the way? Yeah.
Programming. He's look, let me put it this way. He is a great masterful programmer. It's when he tries to assume a leadership area, like with this game. Yes, he was the original lead for this game, but I'll go into
Producer
that
specifically.
later.
Yeah.
Well, remember, Pedro, when it comes to Japanese
Shadow,
projects,
it's
producer pretty much means
coming.
director.
So yeah, the boss battle is the exact same as Sonic, as you can see. So just use the same tactic that you saw me use.
Apparently he's dazed, so that's what it means.
Also, Joe, I listening to Flame Core, the music for Flame Core. I get what you were saying, but I still think the calmer tone of it fits, because that volcano, despite outward appearances, wasn't very active.
Oh, I get that true. Like I said, it's only really jarring when we get to Silver's playthrough, considering how Flame Core is its final level, and considering who the final boss is and the circumstances. That's the only time when it really gets unfitting.
Link.
I will say this though, either way though, I preferred Sonic Adventure's take on the inside of a volcano, which is pretty much the equivalent of hell, people burning, prisoners hanging with their skeletons left over. God, Adventure could be pretty dark.
So
Anyway,
cutscene.
Oh, goody. This is
So
where I
yeah,
get
now
to-
we get to see. Yeah, now we get to see what happened at the end of this cutscene in from Shadow's perspective.
Oh, goody. I get to complain about Mephiles being a stupid villain because...
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Mephiles immediately, right from his very first proper cutscene, well, from our perspective, maybe you played Silver's campaign before you played this one, but from our perspective of our playthrough, this is going to be Mephiles' first big cutscene, and he immediately destroys himself as a credible villain right from the beginning, as you're about to see.
And that's ignoring all the later plot elements we learned. So, Mephiles, you said you were going to send Shadow out to Oblivion, yet apparently now you're willing to meet him head-on here.
That's sad, actually. He has a chilling sounding theme, as Dan Green has always said.
It is, the sad thing is that honestly, Mephiles could have worked as a villain if they had just a few more scenes actually, ironing out the rules with him, because Mephiles is freaking overpowered, as I'm going to go into later depth with.
Never mind. We're cutting to.
Oh, great. Hold on. We're going to get yet another golden scene of Rouge communicating back to headquarters. So enjoy. Yeah, you probably should have... So yeah, apparently Rouge's hand talks.
Again,
Yeah,
Either she has a micro communicator or she's wearing it under her glove. It's like when people go into the train station and they put their passes in their gloves and just wave their hands in front of the bar.
If Pedro, it'd be funny if her hand started talking like it
Was that shot supposed to be cool or something?
Oh,
Pedro,
goody.
Pedro,
What?
could you imagine if Rouge's hand started moving like talking like it was a sock puppet. Agent Shadow, please report to the
Yeah.
room.
And then it turns
No,
out...
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
welcome to the easiest level in the entire game. You see,
You're playing
And
as
then it turns out her
Rouge
hand
anyway.
is
yeah,
actually the gun.
Rouge's tropical jungle is easy as all hell. Why? Because the level design was pretty much the exact one as in Silver's. However, since Rouge can glide and climb, you can pretty much just bypass the entire level. There's a lot of there's enemies there, but it's not like I need to beat them to go through. So there you go. Let's glide all over the level.
You know what's sad? I literally forgot that this level happens before the next game of Memphis. Why? Because this level is so gosh dang easy to complete.
I'm pointless from the looks of it. What
I
do
have
you even
n-
do here?
Okay. The reason we're here
Yeah.
actually is because Rouge is looking for Omega.
That's
Right?
the that's the
Omega
best that's
just
the
happens
best
to be in the Soliana jungles here.
that's the best
Oh,
excuse they
no.
could come up with for having a tropical jungle level with Rouge. She's looking for
Pedro,
Omega.
Pedro, why are you bothering with the enemies? You can literally just climb to the top and glide over them.
Well, remember, Joe, but there's the lasers there. But it's,
Yeah. Pedro, there's actually a way that you can actually glide over the lasers.
there
to
is,
get
but
up
usually
there.
when I try it, I can't quite make it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but don't worry. As you can see, I'm done. But
Well,
fucking camera.
You say this is the easiest level in the game, but when we get to Silver's one, which is my least favorite
This-
level in the entire
There you go.
fucking game.
And there you
Yeah.
go. As you can see, I got an S rank almost entirely by time bonus.
What did you think of my...
I mean, I guess Rouge's victory animation looks cool, even though it kind of looks just like her hero's one without Omega holding her, but still, I guess it looks relatively cool. I'm trying with you, game. I'm really trying.
I'm just gonna pretend that the only reason that the soundtrack was the thing made first, and they just had to build the game around it.
All right, so let's go, Jova.
Okay, we'll see you for the next part, folks.
Oh yeah, never
where we
mind. I
see-
forgot. It's in the all right. In the next cutscene, sorry, in the next part, me and Jova dissect Mephiles. So tune in for that.
Ooh,
I'm also
character
gonna have some
analysis.
choice words to say about Omega.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
So yeah,